This doctor died in an elevator that crashed from the 10th floor of a hospital building. Her name is Dr. Diaso, and the circumstance surrounding her death is provoking. Dr. Diaso had just completed her studies at Babcock Universities in 2022 and joined the hospital for her housemanship. But long before then, doctors in the hospital had been complaining about the poor state of the elevator. They repeatedly informed the management that the elevator stops and opens in the middle of going up or down, and that they had to close it manually whenever that happened. But all the management ever did was make empty promises after allegedly embezzling funds collected from the government for the maintenance. This went on until Diaso joined the hospital and met the elevator in the same faulty state. Diaso had to endure the scary elevator for about 12 months during her time at the doctor's quarters. When we entered the first week of August, she had barely 2 weeks left to complete her housemanship, and she was really happy that she would be leaving the faulty elevator behind. On the 2nd of August 2023, Diaso received a call from a dispatch rider waiting to deliver her meal on the ground floor. She entered the elevator on the 10th floor just like every other day, but this time, as soon as the door closed, it malfunctioned and crashed to the ground floor. The loud noise it made when it hit the ground scared everyone nearby, but a fellow doctor named Olumide knew it was the elevator that crashed and that someone was trapped inside. He ran down the staircase screaming for help, and people came back to help in the rescue attempt. At first, they tried to call the people who maintained the elevator, but they were unreachable. Then they called the fire service, and the operator on the other end of the line promised that they were on their way. But time was running out. They could actually hear Diaso groaning in pain inside the elevator. So they started trying to force the door open, and after over 40 minutes of struggle, they succeeded. The sight was really heartbreaking. Shattered pieces of glass were scattered everywhere, and Diaso lay helpless with visibly fractured bones in a pool of her own blood, crying out that she didn't want to die. She was quickly rushed into the emergency ward of the hospital, and doctors began trying to resuscitate her. But again, the gross negligence of the government hospital came into play. Diaso had lost a lot of blood and probably had a decreased supply of oxygen, but the hospital had no oxygen and blood available to transfuse into her. On top of that, the patient monitor, which should have been displaying her heart rate, respiratory rate, blood pressure, and other vital signs, wasn't even working. The doctors tried their best to stabilize her, but she tragically succumbed to her injuries. Dr. Diaso did not have to leave us so soon, but the gross irresponsibility of the Lagos Island General Hospital order caused her to die a needless death. She will forever remain in our hearts.